Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to discuss about 8259 PIC, that is Programmable Interrupt Controller. Basically 8259 is a chip that is used to increase the number of interrupts. Now this chip is designed and developed to configure with two processors, that is 8085 and 8086. What actually this chip is doing, that whenever any of the microprocessor is getting interrupt request, it is combining all these interrupt, that is it is acting as a multiplexer. It will combine all these interrupt requests into a single one, and that single interrupt will be forwarded to the processor. Now the question comes, why it was needed? Because as we know, most of the processors are having limited interrupt lines. If we take the example of 8085, it is having only 5 interrupt requests. So if more than 5 input output devices has to send the interrupt, then it is not possible for the processor to handle all those interrupts. For that purpose 8259 was designed. What actually happened is that all these interrupt requests, all the input output devices are sending their interrupt request to 8259, which is further connected to the processor. Now it will accept the request from all the devices, from all the input output devices, and then one by one all the requests will be forwarded to the processor. Now which request has to be forwarded first and which has to be forwarded at the last, for that purpose 8259 is having an internal priority resolver. So basically what we will discuss in the review, 8259 is a chip which can be connected with 8085 or 8086 processor. It is connected because these processors are having a limited number of interrupt request lines. So when many of the input output devices are sending the request to these processors, 8259 actually accept those requests, combine them, and depending on their priority it is sending those requests to the processor, which is serviced further. So this was actually what 8259 is. So be sure that you all have got the idea of what is 8259. Now we will discuss further about its features, 8259 features. Now this chip is having 28 pins, that is basically it is a LSI chip, means large scale integrated. What actually large scale integrated means, that number of transistors are embedded on this single chip. Now this chip is having 28 pins. DIP means dual inline package, means 14 pins will be on one side and 14 pins will be on the another side. Now the power supply which is required by this chip is same for like others also, that is plus 5 volt, and basically it is using NMOS technology, that is negative channel metal oxidized. What actually happened in this technologies, the transistors that are embedded on this chip are on or off using movement of electrons. So we have discussed two features. It is a chip which is having 28 pins. It is a LSI chip and it is requiring plus 5 volt power supply, and the technology which is used by 8259 is a NMOS technology. Now at one point it can accept 8 interrupt requests simultaneously, means actually what it will be doing is that it will be, suppose if the processor has got 8 interrupt requests, it will be taking all those interrupt requests, combine them, and one by one interrupt request will be serviced. Now which interrupt has to service first, which has to last, for that purpose we are having is a interrupt priority resolver that will be determining which interrupt to be serviced first. Now this interrupt priority resolver can operate on two modes, that is a fixed and rotating priority mode. What actually fixed is that every time suppose if we are having IR0 to IR7 request line, then in the fixed IR0 will always be on the highest priority and IR7 will always be on the lowest priority. But actually what is in the rotating priority mode? In the one cycle IR0 will be at the highest, in the second it will go the least and IR1 will be the highest, means the priority of all the interrupts will go on rotating in every cycle. So this was the, now next we are coming is the clock signal. Now 8259 doesn't require any clock signal for its operation. Now it can work in both the modes, that is the master mode also and slave mode. Like suppose if our 8085 is working on the master mode, that is it is acting as a DMA, then it can work with that mode also. But if it is acting as a simple input output device, then it can also work with it. So in addition to these features, one special register is also attached with 8259, that is the interrupt mask register. What actually the interrupt mask register is that, suppose if we are having 6 interrupt requests, now using this interrupt mask register we can individually mask the request. Mask means we can on or off the request. Suppose if we have mask request IR0, means whatever happens that request will not be serviced because it has been masked by interrupt mask register. So this was actually the basic information of what is 8259. We will go to a quick review of all what we have done. Is that it is a chip which can be connected with with 2 processors, 8085 or 8086. It helps these processors to handle multiple interrupt requests. It gets all those interrupt requests, then after that combine them, and one by one it forward those requests to our processor, and basically our processors are able to handle the interrupt lines more than the interrupt pins they are having. So this was actually the basic of that. In the next video we will be dealing with its architecture. Thank you.